What a perfect end to 2018. It's funny, my very last video of the year and the very last day of this year is rain, at least an inch or more. It's a very cold rain. It was a mix of freezing rain. It's kind of chilly, but now this afternoon it's kind of just rain. So yeah, what an end to the year. I couldn't imagine it going out any other way. Last day of the year, an inch of rain. I'll come back with you. So just by the looks of this, I got to get a rain gauge. I don't have one, but just by the looks of this, we've gotten over an inch already. We've had to. This is probably closer to an inch and a half. But anyway, it is the last video of the year from PA Farms. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I want to thank you guys for following me for a whole year here. All the subscribers and people that watch, happy new year to you guys. Wherever you are in the world, have a happy new year, and hopefully next year is a great year for everybody. So I'm going to try to talk over this rain that's coming down on the roof. Yesterday, I want to talk about a little bit of vandalism here that happened on the farm that just happened in this last week. Yesterday, you guys know my video. I went up on the hill to do a video on that cornfield and the terrain. I was going up the hill and I didn't notice it. When I came back down, there's a chain across that road, and I'll get into the history of why that chain is there. I went to go put it back up, and I saw somebody had cut it and spliced a bungee cord in to put it back up so that nobody would notice that it was cut. Well, I do notice a lot of details, and I did notice it. And I'm not going to walk up there now because it's pouring down rain, but I'll put a picture. I did snap a picture of it and send it away to my landlord, and he was very upset over the whole thing, and is going to be coming up to fix it, and was not happy about it at all. So anyway, you guys know, there, maybe you do, maybe you don't, there's a chain across the road, and all it is a plastic chain. It's not really meant to be secure to keep people out. It's kind of just a deterrent. We put it up out of necessity. Going back 2 farmers ago, he didn't have the chain up, but he did put up a sign that said closed to motorized vehicles and a $200 fine because people were driving up there and driving through the fields and everything. Mostly hunters, but so he had put put the sign up. All right, so 1 farmer ago, the guy before me, I think it was 2011, 2012, with it being so wet, a vehicle went up there to spot deer with New Jersey license plates, and he ended up getting stuck from driving through the fields. He sank in the mud and ended up having to call a tow truck. And this was like at 11, 12, maybe midnight. And I was living here at the time. I was woken up by the sound of the tow truck going up. And as luck would have it, the farmer that was farming here was coming home from work, and he saw the lights up on top of the hill. So he pulled in and wasn't happy about the whole deal. So he contacted the landlord and said, could he put a chain up? He said, yes, that's fine. So he put the chain up to keep vehicles off of the farmland. And like I say, this guy said he was hunting deer. So when that farmer left, it was his chain. He took the chain with him. So he took his chain, and when I started here, there were people driving up, and I thought, well, with the no-till, I really got to police the fields. I do not want vehicles driving through the fields because I don't want any ruts. So I'll get into that whole story here in just a second. All right, bear with me. I have to charge my phone. I didn't realize it was so close to dying, and I have to go get the trash cans because today was trash day, so the cans are sitting down there. I'll just throw them in the car. So anyway, back to my story. So the landlord said, that's fine, I'll buy a chain and put it up. So the landlord got another piece of chain. I ended up putting it up and got a sign, or he had given me a sign that basically said closed to all motor vehicles and all that kind of stuff. So I did. I put the chain up, and usually in the summertime it's not up, because I don't want to have to take the chain up and down every time I want to go up in the field. I make a lot of trips up there with the equipment. I mean, that's where all the fields are. So in the summertime it's down, and you'll get the occasional person just nosing around, driving around. But when it really gets bad is hunting season and deer season. So I'll cover that here in a second. All right, guys, the rest of this video might be pretty dark. I'm just gonna stay in my car here and finish it. It is pretty cold and damp outside, and it just got soaking wet. So anyway, I want to finish this video. So yeah, come hunting season, I do put up the chain across the road. Hunters are told from the landlord, when they ask permission, down there's a pond and there's a parking area down there. Hunters are supposed to park at the pond and then walk to wherever they're going, their tree stands, their spot. You can walk up this road, you can walk out through the woods that way. There's a lot of trail. With the logging that was done, there are trails everywhere. It's not hard to walk to where you have to go. So that's where they were told to park. In the past, we have had problems with them parking in the worst places. Like I said, they'll park right in front of my house. They've parked in the grass and have made ruts. They parked here right at the edge of the building that I couldn't get anything out of here. It's just like an attitude with some of them, not all of them. Again, I'm not going to label all hunters let me put some light in here. I'm not gonna put all hunters in the same category. I know there are some good guys. I know some good guys, but it's just an attitude of, hey, it's hunting season. This is my time. I saved all my vacation days from work for this time, so it's all about me and getting my trophy deer. So that's kind of the attitude I think we're dealing with. But anyway, so I put the gate up and I do not lock it. I latch it and I wrap the chain around, and I do not put the padlock on. The reason for that is if somebody does get a deer, I have no problem with them taking their pickup truck or their utility vehicle and going up and getting it, as long as they stay on the road that's up there. There's a road, you guys have seen the road. As long as they stay on the road, if they can drag it somewhere, with all the logging roads around here, it's not too bad. So there's no issue there. I don't lock it for that reason. I try to work with the hunters. We do have a deer problem. I want the deer. I want people to hunt and get deer. The turnout this year has been terrible for hunting. There hasn't been a lot of people here. There are 44 people that have permission to hunt here, and I think at most I've seen maybe 5 or 6 different hunters here. So really not a very low turnout. So anyway, like I said, for whatever reason, whoever this was, they decided to cut the plastic chain, which, like I say, it's just plastic. It's just a deterrent. They decided to cut it and then splice a bungee cord in to make it look like it wasn't cut. So they went up there. I did see the fresh tracks in the mud going up through there. I don't know if they got a deer. I wasn't home, but it happened just in this last week with the archery season. I'm kind of suspicious. I have my suspicions as to who it was. I know it was a hunter. It wasn't anybody else. I have another neighbor living here that watches things too. So it was definitely a deer hunter that went up there. So once again, I'll put a picture at the end of the video of what they did. But like I say, the landlord was not happy. So I know there's some local people that watch the channel. I'm sure there are people that know me that have found this channel that are watching and never comment or anything. I know they're out there. But I used to hear from a lot of the hunters when I wasn't farming here, they got so mad about that gate being up that they couldn't go up there. All these years they were able to go up there. Now all of a sudden, with the guy that was farming before me, they were blaming him, that it was his fault, and why should they be banned from going up there. And I told them, I said, hey, there was vehicles going up there at all hours of the night. I've seen it. I've been living here for 9 years now, and just the amount of traffic that was going up there in the middle of the night, it's not allowed. This is not a township road up through there. That was another misconception. A lot of people were saying it's a township road, they can go wherever they want. Believe me, I would know if it was a township road or not. So it's not a township road. So there's 2 or 3 signs up that say you're not allowed to go up there with vehicles, and they just ignored it all, cut the chain, and decided to go up. So back in the spring, it was one of my first videos of the year, one of the first videos I did on the getting into the field. And you guys that have been following me, you remember I almost ran over an arrow that was in the field that a hunter had lost from their crossbow that was sticking up, and it really upset me because I gotta put my windows down or I'm gonna I didn't have that bad of a year. I'm not trying to end myself running the vehicle in the building here, but anyway, they had put I'd put brand new tires on the 685. It was almost $2,000 worth of tires, and I almost, my first trip out, run over an arrow that a hunter lost. So I went into a total tirade about deer hunters. I have a lot of stories from the area about hunters, why I have such a bad attitude towards them from the farmer's perspective, and I never aired that. I didn't post it. I figured, no, I gotta cool down. I did say a few things, but I wasn't gonna get into it. I could get into a lot of things here, a lot of story times, but just as an example, I just want to cover these quick. This year, the local police are investigating a bullet hole that was found in a brand new house. You guys saw those new houses that I was talking about in my video of Farm's Last Crop. One of those houses that was just built, they found a bullet hole in it from deer season. And it was just built. It was just, the house was just finished in the fall. So some hunter was shooting deer and or shooting at deer, and they ended up hitting a house. There are bullet holes in the shed over at my dad's from deer hunters. The neighbor over there had bullet holes in some of his buildings. So you're starting to see some of the intelligence here. That just happened this year. Brand new house, and there's bullets flying into a new house. So that was one thing. When I was a kid, we had a real group of winners. There was like five guys all together from a town. They had shot a baby fawn, and we heard the shooting, so Dad and I, we went back to investigate. It was on our property, and there were 5 guys just unloading their ammunition into a baby fawn. 5 of them, just blowing this little baby deer apart. So once again, that's who you're dealing with. Some, not all of them, but this is that percentage that is ruining it for other people. Dad has his land posted, and there's reasons for it. So there's that. There was other stories here with people trespassing, and when I was a kid, there was a guy that was threatening to shoot my dad because somebody was trespassing and had gotten a deer on our property, and Dad had called the game commission on him. Anyway, it was a whole thing. We had the state police there. They ended up catching the guys that were trespassing and did make threats against my dad, and it turned out they had warrants for their arrest for other crimes. So again, this is the kind of people. As a farmer, and any of you farmers out there, please back me up on this. Anybody who's a farmer, back me up on this, that the worst kind of hunter, in my opinion, is the guy that is just here for antlers. He's just trying to get the big buck. That's all they care about. Doe are the problem. We need hunters that want to shoot doe and fill their freezer, and that's why they hunt, for the meat. And that's not the case. We get the guys that live in towns. They don't have any land. They don't know anything about a farm. They wouldn't think twice about driving. I've had farmers here in the area saying somebody took a pickup truck right through the alfalfa field and rutted it all up. I've had farmers constantly talking about damage from the hunters. So anybody that's a farmer, you know that it's just the trophy hunter, the guy living in town, the guy that'll spend $30,000-$40,000 on a off-road vehicle. They'll take the weekend trip to Cabela's. They'll be in the tree stand with all their tags still on their clothes because they watch the Outdoor Channel, and then decide that they're gonna get the biggest buck in the land. So it's a struggle. And like I say, I'm not going to blame all hunters. I know there are some good ones. I know a lot of them personally. They are there to get meat for their freezer. They're not just there to run around and then just pass up all the deer waiting for the big one. So I don't know. You guys can make your decision. Like I say, if you're farmers, please back me up in the comments. I wasn't going to do this because I thought I would just get bombarded by trolls, and I guess the type of person that I would make mad over this would be the guy I'm describing, but it's just, it is what it is. It's a constant struggle to try to get the right kind of hunters on your property. So just is what it is. So like I said, the landlord was not happy. He was going to be fixing this thing. He said if they do it again, he's going to put up a solid steel cable, and we're going to keep it locked year round if this is going to be a problem. So I don't know. Just is what it is. It took a lot of you know what to just cut somebody's chain and then try to hide it. So whatever. All right, guys. On that note, with it pouring down rain here in the last day of 2018, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. And like I say, this is a little bit more of a ranting video than I usually post. I usually try not to go into topics like this or be overly controversial, but it is a problem, and this kind of has me upset. And like I say, it's not just me, it's the landlord. So these hunters, they can come here for free, they can hunt, it doesn't cost them anything. I'm paying rent on the land, and they're here to just cause problems. Just I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. There's a lot of, I'll put it this way, I don't own this place, but all it takes is a few bad eggs to ruin it for everybody. I do believe in posting your land just so you have some legal protections, but I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure I'll cool off eventually, but not the greatest. So anyway, I've talked long enough. I'll see you guys later. Have a happy new year. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll put the picture at the end of this video. So I'll see you guys in 2019.